At a cab driver funeral. Packed inside. Lots of cab drivers showed up. The man who died was Ato Kasa, Ethiopian. He was stopped at a red light and another vehicle at a high rate of speed rear-ended him. Both drivers died. No other passengers were in either car. I never know what to expect when I hear about a cab driver dying. So I've been to funerals like this where the church or the mosque or whatever other venue is just completely packed, like this is today. This happens to be an Ethiopian church. And inside it was standing room only. Packed with people upstairs and downstairs. There's food out. And they're going to be eating, I suppose, after the services. But the biggest defining thing about a cab driver's funeral for me, and I've been to my share of these funerals, is it's not really the biggest difference is it's not really about religion. I've been to, if you for the person who is maybe a kind of a casual observer and not particularly religious, if you were dropped into the middle of a cab driver's funeral, you might have to look around to check for a cross or a crescent to know the religious affiliation of the person. The differences there those kinds of differences don't strike me. Packed congregation with lots of mourners seeing off their beloved departed. Now, the thing about a cab driver's funeral, and the reason I don't know what to expect, is I've been to cab driver funerals like this where you've got packed congregations, packed places of worship, and I've been to cab driver funerals where nobody's there except for the guy's brother, and there's nobody there but me, one person from the driver's family, and sometimes there's nobody there to even say some words. Just a funeral formality. But that's not even the saddest circumstance when a cab driver dies. Sometimes when a cab driver is murdered, you will get a good turnout of people, a sizable number, but even that's not always the reason. It just really kind of comes down to whether or not they belong to a community. It's not about it's not always about the fact that they were a cab driver. A cab driver who I was at a cab driver funeral last November. His name is Greg Wong. He was murdered, and there were people. There was a decent number of people attending the funeral, but nothing like this. It's really about the community the person belongs to. Not even about the religion, if I dare to say. So, what I was saying is, even the service of a cab driver who dies, who may have not had a community, the situation where a cab driver dies and I'm advised of the service, and I go and the room is empty. And as I was saying, that's not even the saddest situation. The sad situations are when I don't even get those calls, where there is no service. I've heard of cab drivers dying slumped over in their cabs, bodies sitting in the medical examiner's office, the county morgue, and nobody claims it. Now, how do I know about that? I've gotten the call before where I've been asked to help get a cab driver's body out of the county morgue. And what I wonder is, how many of those calls have I just never gotten? How many of those calls never came because they had nobody? And what happens to the bodies of those cab drivers, or those people in general? I mean, that didn't have anybody. Anyway, farewell to Otto Casa, born January 1st, 1965, died on the 1st of November, 2017. Ethiopian man, lived in Sudan. Christian, leaves his wife Zanash, brothers, sisters, family, friends, and loved ones.